Hey everybody, it's Travis, and now I'm going to do another review video because it coincides with where I'm at in some of my training with the dogs. One of the dogs I have is getting closer to being proofed or being e-collar conditioned. Now, the reason I'm going to be making these videos is to dispel some myths, some rumors, and some fears that people have about the e-collar. I'm going to show how I use it in a fair, humane, and scientific manner that coexists with my program. Now, I like to talk about the e-collar that I use personally. The e-collar that I use personally is the eTechnologies Pro Educator. It's an amazing collar. It's an amazing system. I've had it for about 3 years and I've abused this thing so bad and it's lasted. Plus, I've had a call a few times about other issues and their customer service has been amazing. Of all the businesses, no matter what business, they have the best customer service, especially in the dog world. That's something to really be proud of. So let's take a look at the system itself. This is the remote and the receiver. The receiver is the little box you see on the collar. Now, what I love about this system is that it's very personal, and you can personalize it and customize everything to your program and your needs. If you look at the remote, on the dial on the top, there's 100 different levels of stimulation. A lot of e-collars only have 8, 10, 12 levels. The problem I have with that with some dogs is a 6 might be not enough to get the dog's attention, but a 7 might be too much to put that dog over threshold where it gets too stressed out and it shuts down from training. And that's not what you want. So with 100 levels, you can customize that receiver and everything to that dog. Now there's 3 different levels we use for the e-collar, which is the resting level, the working level, and then the last level, which is more of the distraction level. We'll get into that in another video, but with this system, I can easily adjust that remote to hit those levels, so it's a really good thing. Now, the 2 buttons on the front and the 2 buttons on the side, you can customize those however you want them with those different levels that you see on the face there. On the face, you can kind of see there's whenever you hit a button, it shows you exactly what that button's programmed for. It shows you what level you're on, and then it shows you the battery power of the remote. So that's a very good thing. On the top, you see that little ring. You can put a lanyard on there, or you can put a belt clip on the back. All these come with the system as well as testers, chargers, manual. It even comes with a jump drive that has a PDF version of the manual in case you lose it, the dog eats it, whatever. But it also has tutorial videos and a few articles and ebooks to teach you how to use the e-collar to train your dog. Now, if you look at the receiver itself on the collar, you see that little screen there, and that's what flashes. And if it flashes green, it's charged. If it flashes orange or ember, then it shows that it needs to be charged, and if it flashes red, it's about to die. If you hit a button, it turns red to show that it's in use as well. Now, what I really like about this collar is, I'll show it here, you see it flashing green. There you go. Now, if I hit a button, you see it flash red to show that I'm actually turning it on. Now, what I really like about this as well is I can hit a little button here and it has a strobe light. So if I'm out working the dog at night and I want to keep track of it, you can turn this strobe light on. Now, if I want it to stay on, I can turn it on and it stays on. So it's a really good additional kind of thing that happens with the e-collar. Now, I do order some extras for mine. For example, you notice these prongs here, these contact points. These are thicker, longer, and more metal. These are hypoallergenic, but they're for thick fur dogs. I teach a lot of German Shepherds and Malinois. Now, this comes with 5/8 and 3/4 inch contact points, which helps a lot, but I just like the idea of hypoallergenic and thick fur. I get better connection. And speaking of better connection, that's also why I like to get this bungee strap. Now, this specific bungee strap also has a buckle. Anybody that works with collars that you have to adjust all the time, it sucks. You put it on the dog, you have to pull it through the buckle and get everything going, and then put it back in, and the dog's fighting you the entire time. This, you put it on, size it once, and you just undo it, put it around the dog's neck, and you're ready to go. Now, a dog's neck muscle is a very thick, hard, very desensitized surface. but that's where all the blood flow moves from the head to the body, obviously. And since it's the biggest muscle group on the dog, it swells. In the heat, it swells. When the more they pant, it swells. When they're running the fields and doing work, it swells. So if you have a stationary collar, a non-adjustable collar, then when the dog's neck swells, it will cut off blood flow, oxygen, things like that. That's not what you want. The sad thing is you have to have a tight grip on the dog to keep contacted to the dog. So that's why I also like this bungee collar. You can fit it where it's snug, making good contact, and as the dog exercises and works and its neck muscles swell, this thing goes up to like an extra 4 inches. So the dog's not going to choke out, nothing bad's going to happen to that dog. So that's what I like about this collar. Now if you look on the little dial, there are so many different things that you can look at. There is an M, M+, C, C+, R, R+, I, V, T, and there's a bunch of other things. But those are the major things that you can program your remote to. The M stands for momentary. That where you push a button, it sends a single stimulation, a single pulse to the dog. Now, most of the time when you work a dog, if it's just in the yard and it's not being distracted, maybe an 8 gets the dog's attention. But if it's chasing a ball, chasing a car, chasing a squirrel, it will not feel that 8, or the desire to chase that thing is going to trump the stimulation, so it's not going to care. So you can hit the plus button, program it to a plus, to where it goes automatically up however many levels you need to. So if you realize that under high distress you have to up that level 5 levels, then you can program one button to be its normal everyday resting level, and then you can program another button to the plus to where it gets the dog's attention if it's more distracted. So the M plus would be the momentary boost stimulation, which sends a single pulse out but at that higher level. Then we have a C and a C plus, which stands for continuous, which means you hold it down and it will continue giving that dog stimulation till you release it. But it also stops after 8 or 10 seconds for a safety reason. So continuous, and then the continuous boost, and then it has R, R plus. The R stands for ramp. What it does is, it's like, say if I have my remote programmed at 8, it will start at 0 and then go up to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 within 1 second. So if I have an R plus, it will go up to that higher level. So if I have it set to 12, it'll go from 0 to 12 in that time frame as well. And then I is instant stimulation mode, so that means it controls the stimulation for up to 45 seconds. Then the V is for vibration, and then vibrate feels a lot like a cell phone, so it's not that big of a deal. And then we have tone, and it can be a warning, it could be a good warning, it could be a good dog marker, a clicker, things like that, and that's what I really like about this. So there's a lot of different ways you can program this remote to fit your needs, and that's exactly what I do. And what I do is I usually program the red button as a tone. I program the button above the red one as a vibrate, and then on the side I do continuous and continuous plus. I can control how long. If I just want a momentary, I can just click it a momentary. But if the dog's not listening, I can use this. So during the negative reinforcement stage, I can use the lower levels, or I can use the ramp, or whatever you want, and you can go up, and once the dog gets in the sit, you can hit the tone to give it a marker. So that's what I love about this system. It's very customizable, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Another reason I really love this thing is it only takes like an hour, hour and a half to charge, so it lasts forever. If I just use it for everyday work, I can put it on the dog, and I'm forgetful. I can put it on the dog, take it off at night, put it away, forget to charge it, put it on the next day, forget to charge again. I've had this thing last 3 or 4 days before it starts to die. But there's times where it does die. I can just plug it up, watch a movie. By the time the movie's over with, it's charged already. Now there's been days where I've trained 5 or 6 dogs off the same collar, back to back, constantly, and by the end of the day, it is still green lit, it is still good to go. So the battery life on this thing is amazing. The customer service, like I said, is top notch. So if there's any problems, I call them and they help me out. If I have any questions, they help me out. I'd like to try the Canine Handler, but for right now, this suits all my needs and all my client needs, and it will guarantee to suit your needs. Now, in the future videos, I'm going to show how I program it, why I program it in certain ways, like I talked briefly about here, and how that applies to my dog training program. So hopefully you understand a little bit better on what e-collar system I use and why I use it. So get on Amazon, whatever you want, order it from the company. You can contact me. I'm a dealer with these people because I love this product so much. So if you would like one of these, contact me. I can hook you up with one and we'll go from there. But look forward to the educational videos and then the tutorials on how to put these in action. So thank you for watching and keep tuned.